My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 41, brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. My married name was Childers. Both twins were dead, Carl and Peggy, and that's the identity that was forced on me. And this is the Kennedys. His vision for mental health, which has been used in all this as a torture chamber. His daughter is now ambassador, that's the president there, Obama, to Japan. Wow. Japanese should know who really did all, was responsible for the bombing. This is JFK, and today's the 22nd. And all this is going on about his assassination, and I guess I wonder what it takes for people to call it an assassination or a kidnapping, or care, because I wanted to get this in. I didn't on other tapes, videos. I did want to say this. My uncle, George VI, he's with Roosevelt in 39, the year I was born, and I was kidnapped in 41. Now then, I wanted to read a little bit about, because I had said Joe Kennedy helped on my kidnapping. I knew that. He was ambassador to Great Britain, 36 to 46 when he was kicked out. Now then, I got that the wrong way, I guess. So I knew his father did help take down my father, King Edward VIII, and I guess I'm making a mess out of this because I'm in so much pain right at the moment. But Joe Kennedy helped take down my father. My father, King Edward VIII, was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Windsor. Legally, she was Irish Catholic American, and some of the Windsors didn't like that, but most of all the New World Order was in place, the Freemasons, and the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and later Henry Kissinger helped in the mess here. But that was part of my kidnapping in 41. Now then, I wanted to read this because John Kennedy, this is the reason that I've said this. This is the reason they're not going to tell about the mind control murders, and they're not going to tell about, because mind control was using the Kennedy with Oswald and, what was the man's name that shot him and had cancer? I've told you about this in prior tapes. But here is John Kennedy. He sailed across the ocean with his father and his brother, Joe Kennedy, to work with his father, who was then Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the president, had appointed him ambassador to the court of St. James at American Embassy in London. Now then, let me turn this back around. Since this doesn't sound too good, the sound when I turned that around, I want to say this again. This involves John Kennedy being there at the same time. Joe Kennedy, his father, helped kidnap me. I've known that for a long, long time. I did not know that John Kennedy and Joe, the son, were flying into England at the time of my kidnapping and prior to it, my birth, 39 and 41. I'm going to say this again so it gets on here. JFK sailed across the ocean with his father and brother, Joe Kennedy, to work with his father, who was then ambassador to the court of St. James at American Embassy in London, appointed by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And 1939, JFK toured Europe to return September the 1st of 39. Now, this is, I was born in 39, And this is the day that Germany invaded Poland. September the 3rd, 39, the Kennedy family was in the House of Commons, British House of Commons, for speeches endorsing the United Kingdom's declaration of war on Germany. Now then, suddenly the Kennedys are friends with Great Britain, the United Kingdom, since they have installed their own monarch, George the Sixth. There's Roosevelt, who made Joseph Kennedy the ambassador to Great Britain. Here's the illegal Elizabeth and her brood that really worked for the American government. So Roosevelt and the Kennedys installed Elizabeth and my Uncle George and took down my father, King Edward VIII, the real one. This is an old picture of me and my sons. Not a very good, taking a very good picture. This is my Aunt Georgia O'Keeffe, the artist. My mother is Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe, married to my father legally. This is the double that was used, imposter, to replace my father. So all this was a lie back then, a 99-year seal to cover up my father's illegal takedown and my birth. So the Kennedys, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, my own uncle, and Elizabeth and Charles have been filmed. They're part of the New World Order that's in place. It was the Freemasons, now it's the same name, it's the New World Order. The point in doing this is to show the connections and why they're not going to tell about the Kennedys' assassination, because mind control was used in it. And also in the Martin Luther King, you program people to shoot or kill someone, or you can create an illness and cure it. And that's been going on since the Tesla files in the early 30s. And I had lists of deaths that were made to appear of natural cause: suicide, heart attacks, cancer, you name it. Some of them went back to Redstone Arsenal or the space program. Where they would be put under investigation and suddenly run their car off into the Tennessee River and drown. Or Bonnie Saylor came to me because I worked at the District Attorney Simpson's office in Huntsville in 80. She came to me and tried to get me to go to the VA on her behalf because her husband worked at a lab at NASA. Redstone Arsenal, really the same thing, I guess, really. But they'd put them under investigation, and they were ready to retire, and they had top secret clearances. So she went home one day, and her husband is in the bathtub. He's blown his head off, or well, that's what she said, with a rifle. I don't know how you do that, but anyway. And it was true. I mean, they all died. The other one developed a rare cancer and died, all within a small, short span of time. And the other one drove his car into the Tennessee River and drowned. So I've kind of lost it there. That's what you can do with mind control. And I wrote about this in 77, 78. And when Larry Flint was shot, I was living in Marietta, Georgia. He was shot and his attorney killed in nearby Lawrenceville. And he flew me out to his home in 83 when the Dr. Larry McDonald, U.S. Congressman that I wrote about, his plane was shot down, and I became a candidate to replace him. And Larry Flint said in the endorsement he did that I knew who was responsible for his shooting, and that's the agency that's involved in the mind control shootings. So I'm just going to show that and show you what they did to me, the Kennedys and all of them, and the reason they're not going to tell the truth about it. I ended up living on the Appalachian Trail in '86 and starving and freezing because they had me shut down. Oh, so here's the Virginia Tech, just these, and I'm going to quit. I mean, anybody can say, hey, I'm telling about this. I came up here in November of, no, excuse me, October of '86 to Roanoke. It's about 40 miles from Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Christiansburg. Now then, the 33 mass shootings happened in April the 16th, I believe, of '07. That was totally a mind control patterns, murders. And the shooter, like some of the others, he was from South Korea. He ended up committing suicide. Well, it's suicide because the ones programmed him had him programmed to do that. So another one, there was many that were done there that you don't hear about, and also at the University of Virginia. This is the psychiatrist, Fort Hood shooter, and he finished college at Virginia Tech near here, where the shootings happened. He became a psychiatrist, and he was born here in Roanoke, Benton. This is Holmes of the Aurora, Colorado, who's being fed psychotic drugs. He's under mind control. It has nothing to do with mental illness. And so, when he was shot, I was getting worked over. So, assassinate, nobody's ever said a thing to me about being sorry, lady, we know what happened to you. How could our country do this to you? Instead, they focused on the man and the family that helped do it. She was brought here during the shootings, April the 16th of '07, and she was paid to come here, and people couldn't get enough of her. While I'm living up on Full Heart Knob, starving and telling people about what this government's doing and the mind control murders. And this is Jens Zoring, a German diplomat's son. And these murders happened in April of '85, and it's Jens Zoring. He's in Buckingham, Virginia State Prison, and Elizabeth Haysom. And they're innocent. They're there for supposedly killing her parents, Nancy and Derek Haysom. And this was done in Virginia, Bedford, Virginia. Now, I'm just going to show you this because I told about these murders starting, really, I say early '70s. It was before then. They're done in patterns. And you can look up YouTube. I didn't know it until recently, till I got a phone and could do the videos. And you can look at MK Ultra. There's a lot of mind control. It's invisible, so it's hard to prove. You can prove them through the ones I'm talking about. They were done in patterns. Now, over time, power changes, so I don't know if it'll be shut up again. But this is a book called Implantable Biochips, and it has Timothy McVeigh, and he told everybody that computer chip was put by the U.S. Army up his buttocks. In England in 1995, a Buckingham Palace spokesman said that well, I'm not going to call him Prince because he's not, William, and he's not heir to the British throne, had a microchip implanted somewhere in his anatomy to discourage would-be kidnappers. Well, I'm the one that got kidnapped, and his grandmother helped do it, Elizabeth. And the name of the book, Project Lucid, which is just another name for the New World Order that's in place, that Elizabeth and Charles and the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, members of the United States government from back when it was formed, really, became, when they stole it from the Brits, when they put it this way, and that wasn't enough. They stole the monarch and installed their own, all with the help of the Kennedys.